right, I have a bold statement to declare on the internet. Are you ready? Pokemon Legends ZA is one of the best Pokemon games ever. Okay, before you click off or leave me an angry comment or tell me I'm wrong, just listen and hear me out on why I think it's the best game and why you should play it and give it a chance. And if you have played it, I want to see if we have the same opinion on this brand new Pokemon game. And if you don't agree with any of my opinions after watching this entire video, let me know in the comments down below. Just be nice about it, please. Also subscribe. If you've been living under a rock, at the time of writing the script for this video, Pokemon Legends ZA was released about 2 weeks ago on Thursday, October 16th. It's a sequel to Pokemon X and Y, the 6th generation of Pokemon games, and it's the second game in the sub-series of Pokemon Legends. This game takes place 5 years after the events of Pokemon X and Y. And something that's super interesting about this game that hasn't been done before in other Pokemon games is that it's based entirely in Lumiose City, which was honestly an interesting choice, but I'll tell you my thoughts about that later. If you know me, you might know that the first sub-series of the Pokemon Legends games, Pokemon Legends Arceus, was legitimately one of my favorite games of all time. And I didn't think this new Legends game would top it, but I was so very wrong. And I'm here to tell you why. From exploring to the battling being super fun to the story and characters being absolute peak, and it also gives Pokemon X and Y the flowers and recognition they finally deserve. At the time of recording and writing the script, I have over 70 hours in this game. I know, go touch grass, I know. But I feel like a little kid again playing a Pokemon game with being completely immersed in this entire experience. Let's jump into the video. When Pokemon was promoting Legends ZA, they focused a lot on the ZA Royale, which happens during the nighttime hours where battle zones appear. Inside these zones, trainers wander around to seek Pokemon battles so they can go from rank Z to A, hence the name, ZA Royale. And when they were marketing this game, it seemed like they were very focused on the battling aspect. And they also introduced a new battle mechanic that was reformatting how battles have been approached for the last almost 30 years. In Legends ZA, they removed the turn-based aspect of the battles. And now the two Pokemon on the field can move around and attack or defend at any time. You can avoid your opponent's attacks by moving around. You can get super close up or keep your distance. You can change up your Pokemon at any time in the middle of battle. And the Pokemon moves are different with how they've been in previous games. Rather than having power points and accuracy, the moves now have a cooldown. To sum it up, it's what Pokemon fans have wanted for a really long time. And Game Freak and Pokemon were able to reimagine the old battle mechanic and give us something brand new and shiny. Each individual battle went from 2 to 5 minutes in previous games to 30 seconds or less in the new game. I was very skeptical of how this new mechanic would work because, to be honest, I'm not a battling competitive type girl. My favorite thing to do in Pokemon games is to shiny hunt, aka I run around and look for different color Pokemon. That's literally what I enjoy doing. And it also seemed like I needed to be super coordinated in this new battle mechanic, and I'm really not coordinated when it comes to games like this. If anything, I stray away from something like this and being competitive. Like, I do like watching competitive Pokemon like VGC, but I could never compete myself, you know? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's the whole point of Pokemon, Colleen. But yes, there's reasons to play Pokemon other than just the competing aspect of it. But 70 hours in, I'm still blown away by this new battle mechanic. I love how fast the battles are. It was a very seamless transition from interaction with the trainer or Pokemon to the actual battle where you could do 20 to 30 battles in a short amount of time and get a ton of experience, money, and a great way to bond with your Pokemon team, which I never felt in any other Pokemon game before. I feel like I'm constantly being put on my toes, getting to explore and think about what typings I need to keep in mind. If I need to Mega Evolve my Pokemon, what Pokemon I need to switch out to, and what moves would be best to defeat my opponent. This battling system doesn't feel competitive. It feels fun. And that's what Pokemon battles are supposed to feel like. And that's what it's stressed in every Pokemon media, from the games to the TV shows and movies. It's supposed to be fun and a great way to bond with your Pokemon team. And I finally feel that way. And I finally understand why people love battling so much completely. I get it. And I have a message for the Pokemon Company and Game Freak. If you're listening, hi, big fan. But also, this is a great quality of life change. Please, from a girl that is really bad at battling, this was one of the best things that you could do. Please don't change this for future games. I hated Pokemon battles before, but now I love it. Please don't change it. Keep it. I'm begging. Now, let's move on to something I feel very strongly about in this game. The fashion. Just hear me out. Lumiose City is based on Paris, which is considered the fashion capital of the world. And with that, they had to bring all of the options out, from the shirts, pants, dresses, shoes, full outfits, accessories. And honestly, the games leading up to Pokemon Legends ZA brought out a lot of criticism, like limited clothing options. For example, Scarlet and Violet, your character was in just a variety of school outfits. Boring. And Pokemon Legends Arceus had some options, but they were lackluster and people didn't consider them that stylish. And Pokemon Sword and Shield had options and customizations, but it was still limited. And people still wanted more. They wanted to express themselves. Now, with this game, so many people could express themselves in so many different ways with so many different clothing choices, and it was so fun. You can add hat, earrings, and other accessories to match your outfit. Then they added salons where you can add different colors to your hair. I spent hours in the clothing stores trying to figure out what I wanted to wear and how I wanted my hair done and express myself. And I don't think I'm done with this feature. I'm so happy I can dress how I want in this game and express myself for who I am as a person. Here are some of my favorite outfits I had throughout the game. I hope you like them. Just a nice little fashion show. On to my next favorite topic of all time, the Wild Zones and Lumiose City as a whole. Another thing that the Pokemon Company and Game Freak stressed when marketing and promoting Pokemon Legends ZA is that Lumiose City is going through a urban redevelopment where Pokemon and humans can coexist with one another. Now, you might be thinking that a game being in one city could be limited and boring. And I thought the same thing. It made me nervous that it would be a really boring game if I was in the same spot the entire time. But I was wrong. I was really wrong. In my opinion, I feel like there were so many times I was getting lost in Lumiose City because it was way too big. And it was like every other city I've ever been to IRL where you just get lost and there's so much more to explore. And there's so many times where I was finding new areas of the city that I never ventured into before. And I could explore new alleyways and rooftops and find a variety of items and Pokemon and alpha Pokemon. And it still feels so fresh with all of that. It feels like I'm exploring a new city every single time I walk into Lumiose. And what really helps the city is the wild zones, where wild Pokemon and certain wild Pokemon can live. And if you look at the size of them, I was unsure that the Pokemon would be limited, but in fact, it's just the perfect amount of spawns and the perfect size. And there's such a fun way that you can shiny hunt. You could just fast travel and you can get a whole new set of Pokemon where you can see if they are shiny or not. And the spawns change in the wild zones. And there's so much variety in the wild zones too. From Pumpkaboo in Wild Zone 13 to Eevee and Furfrou in 19 to Esper in Wild Zone 3. There's literally Pokemon for everyone in these zones, and it's super fun to explore. Side note, very happy they brought back Alpha Pokemon in this game. It was one of my favorite gimmicks in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it's great to see them spawn more in the wild and in the wild zone. And it gives me, a shiny hunter, more of a chance to shiny hunt alphas to add them to my Pokedex. And the best part is literally mega evolving a shiny alpha Pokemon. My worlds are colliding. Wild Zones, amazing addition to the Pokemon series. Exploring, super fun, not boring. Shiny hunting in this game, love it. All right. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the story. And I don't want to give too much away because I want this to be as spoiler-free as possible, but I will say 5 things that are pretty much spoiler-free. Number 1, there is a carryover from the story of Pokemon X and Y, and questions that you might have had then will be answered in this game. Number 2, the character development is top tier. There are characters where I was unsure of them at first, but eventually fell in love with them, and I loved how we got to learn more about them. And the message in this game is beautiful, and it's shown throughout the different characters' actions and words. Number 3, I'm so happy to announce, everyone, the unhinged dialogue is back in Pokemon games, everyone. There's so many times where I had to reread something an NPC said or a main character said because it was super unhinged, funny, or just so rude. It just caught me off guard, but it was so funny. Mega Pokemon have returned, and they play an important part in the story of Pokemon Legends ZA. There's so many Mega Pokemon that have returned from older games, and they also introduce new Mega Pokemon. There are literally so many choices that you can choose from. I won't tell you about the new ones, but I was happy with a lot of the Pokemon that got new Mega Evolutions, including one that was revealed early on in the promoting cycle of this game, Dragonite. I used this Pokemon in my team throughout most of my playthrough, and it was such a great member. Because of the Mega, it was my first time using this Pokemon ever, and I'm so happy that I was able to use it. Number 5, there are so many times where I laughed, I cried, I was super happy, super sad, I cringed a lot, all along with all the characters in this game. I really felt like I was in Lumiose City, and I'm so grateful they gave a proper story to the Generation 6 games because it deserves it. Which leads me to my next topic. Pokemon X and Y are finally getting its flowers. Pokemon X and Y are games that seem to be forgotten, and if they are remembered, they get a lot of hate. Fans and critics say it was a very meh story, it didn't feel complete, and there were mechanics and storylines that made the gameplay experience move super slow. Apparently there was a lot of unnecessary battles. But with all those negatives, it was still a beautiful region with a unique personality with amazing Pokemon designs. And the introduction of a new typing, fairy typing, which is goated, let me tell ya. I'm definitely biased, but I love it. The bad of this region seemed to overshadow the amazing and unique things Generation 6 did really well. In Pokemon Legends ZA, all the negatives were fixed with a brand new game engine from Scarlet and Violet, a beautiful, heartfelt story, the designs of the characters, the redesign of Lumiose City, and the in-depth look of why certain things happen in Pokemon X and Y. It seems like Generation 6 and X and Y are finally getting its flowers for being one of the best Pokemon regions. And there's so many Pokemon that have been overlooked for so many years, but are now being celebrated, like Swirlix, Pumpkaboo, Phantom, Amora, Tyrunt, Honedge, Spupa, and so much more. There's so many amazing Pokemon designs in this generation. I love it. They have people revisiting this region again with brand new eyes, some players for the first time, or some players who haven't been back in this region in 12 years. And I have a confession to make. Please be nice. Even though I love Generation 6 for all the good things I listed above, and I have so many favorite Pokemon from this region, I never played X and Y. I know. I think I'm a fraud. I'm sorry. But since I fell in love with Lumiose City and since I purchased both Pokemon X and Y versions of the games, I will be doing a playthrough of X and Y to give my thoughts on it. So subscribe if you want to see that and follow me over on Twitch to watch my playthrough of that. I'm thinking of shiny hunting my starter first, which will be Fennekin. It's always been a dream of mine to have a shiny starter throughout my playthrough, so might as well start with one of my favorite Pokemon in one of the best regions. And that's why I think Pokemon Legends ZA is the best game ever. I've never been so invested in a game before where I play more than 50 hours in the first week. I can't wait to see how this game ages and see if people will still be playing it over the next few years. So what did you think of Pokemon Legends ZA? What was your favorite part? Least favorite part? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. Also, follow me over on Twitch where I do my live streams. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.